Tonight, the governor's infant mortality task force brainstorming new ways to address infant mortality. Ohio has one of the highest infant death rates in the nation.
And advocates warn the pandemic may be making those numbers even worse. Only on Dayton 24/7 Now News, Allison Walker talks with experts and officials about the causes and hopefully solutions of the crisis.
Infant mortality is a horror that's not just traumatic for families, but entire communities. And health experts say much more needs to be done. This pandemic has worsened so many issues, and Carlisa Parker, the family advocacy manager with Brigid's Path, says infant mortality is no exception.
So many things were closed off and shut down. The access to prenatal care might have been limited due to, lack of the transportation.
While the pandemic's numbers aren't in yet, the Ohio Department of Health's latest data reports there were 6.9 infant deaths per 1,000 live births in 2019, and the rate for black babies 14.3 per 1,000. That same year, 58 babies died in Montgomery County before their first birthday, and the county averages at 9 deaths per 1,000 live births.
What is it about our state that makes this crisis so dire?
And so we have to be able to look at poverty. We have to look at our housing circumstances. We have to look at stress. We have people who live in a war zone, where there's, gunfire every day.
Yvonne Hall with the Northeast Black Health Coalition says these disparities influence whether or not a baby and mother will survive.
Our losses of African American babies are about 3 to 1. When we're looking at the loss between black babies and white babies. And
Hall says these numbers also have to do with deep-seated bias in the healthcare system. Even Hall opened up about when her concerns were belittled while having a miscarriage.
As an educated woman, I'm sitting there, I'm in pain, and I'm like sitting there having to argue about my own care, like having to demand care.
Major Brian Johns with the Dayton Police Department adding just this year, 6 infants passed away from accidental suffocation.
Parents who co-sleep with children, or we have parents who put a kid or a child or baby into a crib with all kinds of bedding. We lose so many kids each year.
This crisis is highly preventable. The task now is implementing solutions.
We have to make sure that our hospital systems must publicly affirm anti-racist initiatives within their health systems.
With just making sure that we have those early levels of intervention and getting access to prenatal care.
And the Infant Mortality Task Force discussed how to create structural changes that lead to better health care access and outcomes for expecting mothers across the state. They have several more meetings to refine their recommendations before releasing them this fall. Reporting for Dayton 24/7 Now News, I'm Allison Walker.